Hello once again everyone and welcome to the Sanctuary. Once again, we're playing Final Fantasy XIV Online Reborn as a little trip down memory lane. Let's remind ourselves of the rules right quick. Once again, we are playing this strictly as Chris Valentine in New Game Plus, but we're playing as Meteor's Job only through the Meteor's Job in the promotional art, I should say. So, I'm running as Marauder for right now, but I will be running as Warrior once we get past the level 30 rank. All of the duties I run, with the exception of certain side quests that don't support it, Alliance and normal raids will be done through duty support. I will be using quest level appropriate gear, and any accessories I obtain will be scavenged or bought using tomestones. Simple, cut and dry. So in this episode, we're doing episode 18, Murder Mystery in the Black Shroud. We're getting close to the wire here, in which I will finally be able to get past and move on to Warrior and get back to my regular hotbar, albeit with some changes. But no, New Game Plus. So where we left off, we had just our trail of the masked man La Habrea had come up cold back in Little Alamigo. So, as such, we decided to take a quick break. Now we're going to continue our little grind. And we're still on my Alienware. And with terrible picture quality this time around. Well, let's not waste any more time and just get right to it. Terror at Fallgord. While you were tending to business in Thanalan, some new information arrived courtesy of our friends, the Sylphs. An individual fitting La Habrea's description has been sighted in the North Shroud. This sighting comes in the wake of a series of mysterious deaths in the self-same area. My instincts tell me that our man is involved. I would have you continue your investigation where you left off. While willing, we will pick up La Habrea's trail once more. Noraxia can furnish you with the details. Pray speak with her and take it from there. As always, be careful out there, Chris. All right, Noraxia is this way. Walking One is to investigate Sinister One? Then heed well this one's words. This one is friends with a Walking One in the Ash Crown Consortium. According to Friendly One, a Digging One named Medrod had an encounter with a scary Masked One. This Masked One is most certainly the Sinister One. Walking One should go and speak with Digging One Medrod. Digging One is to be found at Fallgord Float in the South Shroud. In the North Shroud. My bad. Okay, I had to consult my maps last time, and I have to consult them again this time. Because if I remember correctly, North Shroud is... Yep. Is there any other way to get to North... Oh, yeah, that's right. Alright, we go to New Gridania. Why did I go to Limsa? Every time. I don't know what possessed me to go to Limsa all the time. All right. Oh, I took the... Well, I was stupid. Still am in some cases. Don't know what possessed me to go northbound. But here we are in North Shroud. Bayon would come up via this route over here, as you can see. All right, let's fast forward a little bit. Where's Medrod? There he is. Oh, and is he in a different area? Yep. They put a mirror instead of near the thing. Please, leave me be. I'm not long for this world. I look death in the face. It's only a matter of time before he comes for me. Just like he came for that poor woman. Medrod is clearly traumatized. Okay, we have a little bit of a change in terror at Fallgord. We used to talk to Ideen. We used to consult Ideen before, but I guess now we're just wise enough to know, which is kind of lame because, you know, all right, let's try and soothe Medrod. Oh, and we have to deliver a serving of lentils and chestnuts? What the frick? You're right. It's not as bad as it seems. I saw something terrible, that's true, but that hardly means I'm going to suffer the same fate. Thanks to you, I can think straight again. I believe I can even recount what I saw without losing it. It was just another ordinary day. I was headed back to the float when I noticed a suspicious character in the distance. A masked man garbed head to toe in black. He had a hideous fiend in tow. A winged creature that was all eyeball and jagged teeth. Taken by curiosity, I crept as near as I dared. To see the corpse of a woman! One glimpse was enough to tell me that she died a gruesome death. In that instant, I knew right away that the masked man was a minion of Thal, come to claim her soul for this realm. What? You're investigating the same masked man? If that's the case, we'll help you in whatever way we can.
Aye. Anything to ensure we won't have to suffer Medrod's hysteria ever again.
Alright, teamwork. That's what I wanted to. Wait, I haven't been that bad, have I? At any rate, I'm all for helping this adventurer. It's the least I can do to repay him for comforting me. Alright, let's talk to Aideen. So here's what I know about the deaths. All the victims were found with their faces torn to shreds. Among the local fauna, only the scalekin known as Ziz could inflict such wounds. That's why some folk are pointing the finger at them. I somehow doubt that the answer's that simple, but for the sake of thoroughness, we should look into it. Why don't you put down, say, 3 of the creatures and see if you can find any proof connecting them to the deaths. So that's new. We used to have to put down 6 instead of 3. But anything to make this work less daunting. What's the level on this? 28. You're getting close. Yep, the Ziz are up here. I forgot to put my side-by-side back up. Oh yeah, I had to confront a freaking fate in order to do this. And sadly, Cat was in the middle of something else at the time. Wow, we've even changed the look of our free company banner. I remember when our FC used to be called A la Rubra. Alright, we're gonna fast forward through because I don't want to waste too much time on padding this episode out. There we are. Aideen? You've already seen to the Ziz? Good work, adventurer. So, were you able to find aught to suggest that the creatures are our culprits? Nothing. Truth be told, even if there were proof, I wouldn't know what it looked like. Anyway, I believe we can safely strike Ziz from our list of suspects, which leaves us with the masked man and his winged eyeball. There's something else I heard about the deaths. It appears all the victims have been comely maidens. I'd better watch myself, eh? Unseemly japes aside, there's a rumor been going around. There's some as whisper that after each victim died, her rancor went into the great big rock southwest of here, causing it to flash and moan. This bears investigating, I reckon. I'm going to give you a fire sand stick to blow off a piece of that crag. The stick doesn't come with a fuse or anything, so you'll have to throw the thing. Once you've torn the rock a new one, bring back some of the fragments and I'll give them a gander. Doing this through New Game Plus gives me a few other benefits, like keeping my mount speed and all that, but... Alright, let's do this. What was the tech? Well, I think I may know someone who's on right now. Yep, he is. Hold on, I gotta take a moment to... I had to say hey. Alright, let us turn this down a little bit. It looks like that guy over there who I was talking to and I chatted with is Sin of Pride Escanor, aka that legit tech, who is currently playing on TikTok. I will leave a link in the description to send y'all to him if you're watching it on YouTube, of course. But let's get back to Ideen, because Aideen? Most folk are too scared to go within 100 yalms of the Rock of Rancor. Aye, it has a name. But what's a few vengeful spirits to a dauntless adventurer like you, eh? Here you go. Huh? These are just your garden variety crystals. It's a bit hard to tell beneath all the dirt and grime, but they're definitely lightning expected. I almost hate to say it, but that explains the flashing and moaning. Nothing to do with the masked stranger. Looks like I've gone and wasted both your time and a perfectly good fire stand stick. Oh, well. Alright, let's talk to Iverald.
There's something you should know. There's something you should know. I've been keeping this to myself, lest I worsen Medrod's paranoia, but I too have seen the winged eyeball. I cannot say whether it was coincidence, but my sighting took place precisely the same time as Medrod's. I was heading home after a day of digging when a shadow fell over me. Looking up, I found myself locked in a gaze with a giant eyeball. I let out a scream at the top of my lungs and ran without once looking back. This happened at the rocky area west of here, in case you had a mind to investigate.
Okay, back on the mount. Oh! Whoops! Just dropped like fuck. Alright, let's see how fast this fucker goes down. Where'd he go? Heavy dynamite. 3 hits. Took me a lot longer to do it when I was just a nooblet. Just a sprout in the form of I forgot to check and see what I just added that legit tech as his character Cinepride Escanor, which is a badass name. Ooh, I'm getting up there. Oh, he's a paladin. I would have thought he would have gone, you know, with a name like Escanor, I would have thought he would have gone with Marauder.
A monstrous Banamite appeared, and you slew it? That creature had long been a scourge upon the folk of Falgord. Intentional or no, you have done us a great service. You have my gratitude. But this does make me wonder, was it truly a winged eyeball I saw? Or merely a trick of the light combined with blind panic?
Alright. What's next? Okay, power of deduction.
There's been no promising leads in the murders. I can scarce get a wink of sleep knowing that the killer is still at large. Judging by your furrowed brows, I take it this sorry business troubles you as much as it does me. I had been pondering my encounter. I was uncertain for a time, but there can be no doubt. It was a winged eyeball that I witnessed. It's implausible that I could have mistaken so distinct a creature for a Banamite.
But you and I were moms apart. How could we have both seen it at precisely the same time? What's more, our adventurer friend here had a run-in with the Banamite at the very spot you claimed to see that fiendish eyeball. Isn't that right?
There must be an explanation. I know I saw an eyeball with wings. I would wager an apple tart on it.
Ooh, he's serious. But listen, mayhap it's not as mysterious as we're making it out to be. There's no reason why there couldn't be... Gods, of course! There must have been more than one of the buggers! It's so obvious! But then that means... Since there have been repeated sightings of these fiends, then there must be even more victims as yet undiscovered.
I do believe we're out of our depth. We ought to leave the rest of the report to the expert.
Yes, we're just civilians after all. Good luck, adventurer. It was a pleasure knowing you.
While I burn to know the truth, some things are best left unknown. Lest you have forgotten, it was at the rocky area to the west that I had my encounter. Should you discover aught of note, you'll want to alert the authorities. There's a guardhouse nearby. The serpents there should be pleased for any information that pertains to the security of the region.
Wow, I caught up and surpassed Escanor. And now it's raining. We didn't used to have umbrellas at the time. I don't know why I ran. There were so many times where I had my mount and I just decided to run. Okay, there's our mangled corpse. And there's the floating eye. Feel like it's a bit bigger than before, but still dies in 3 hits. All right, off to the guardhouse. Alright, let's talk to Aethelmare. Greetings, adventurer. Is there aught I might assist you with? Gods be good, not again. No matter how many bodies I see, I cannot seem to get used to the horrid sight. Poor woman. Identical deaths have been reported in the Central Shroud. While the masked stranger you seek does not seem to feature in any sightings of the winged eyeball are common enough. The creature appears to be moving the bodies, but to what end none can say. The victims have all been young women, all found with their faces mutilated beyond recognition. It's been difficult to identify them, so as to notify their next of... This button, engraved with a lily motif. The very same object was found upon another victim. Family sigil, or that of an organization, perhaps?
Either way, I dare to hope that this find will prove pivotal in solving the murders.
All right, let's continue.
I would have you hold on to the Lily button. You will need it to continue your investigation. While it isn't standard procedure to entrust key evidence to individuals, you have proven yourself reliable and resourceful in this matter. I see no reason why you shouldn't carry on your work. If I might make a suggestion, you may wish to take the button to Gridania and have it examined by Miu. Perhaps someone in her vast network of contacts can shed light upon its sigil.
And while I would much rather teleport, we're just gonna take good old-fashioned chocobos, I think. So while past Kruznik decides to waste time with, mounts and running around and saving Gil, I'm just gonna blow my Gil on teleporting. Alright, there's good old Mother Mune. Now, would you like to run and maybe talk to Mune? Good evening to you, Chris. By your grim expression, I suggest... Good evening to you, Chris. By your grim expression, I suspect you aren't here for scones and herb tea. Well, isn't this a lovely little button? The engraving is exquisite. Artisan level quality, I would say. Where did you say you found this? On a dead body? Lovely. Anyway, I'm afraid I do not recognize the Lily sigil. You will have to find the answer the old-fashioned way, by asking around. You could do worse than speaking with Bernadette over by the Aetheryte Plaza. She has a sharp pair of eyes, that one.
It's a good thing we have umbrellas now for the rain.
Need help tracking down the owner of a button? That's certainly not a request I receive on a regular basis. I'll go on then. Show me what you have. Seems to be some manner of decorative button reminiscent of those worn by the families of old, though I cannot claim to know its sigil. However, I can say with certainty that the white lily is a recurring theme in Gridanian culture. Alas, I do not know who would make a personal sigil of it. If there is a soul in Gridania who does, it would be Saint Ingoled over at the Lancers Guild. The woman makes a point of knowing all the citizens on a four-name basis.
Alright, off to the Lancers Guild.
And I remember when we didn't have performance actions either.
Those were the days.
Bernadette believes I can help you? Well, that is a rather bold assumption to make. I will try to assist, never you fear, but whether aught comes of it is another matter. Now then, what do you require of me? Fascinating. The work of this quality is rarely seen in the hands of ordinary Gridanians. The owner of this button is most certainly well-to-do. You may wish to take your search to the Gentry's ward northwest of here. Wait, a memory comes to me. Of late, there has been a man who is perpetually seated at the bench by the ward's entrance. His name is Ursundel, and I distinctly recall seeing a markedly similar button upon the breast of his jacket. I dare say he can tell you a thing or two about it.
Alright, we have to run all the way there. There's Sundel. I do not believe we are acquainted. I do not believe we are acquainted. Pray, leave me to my thoughts. The sigil of the Dakantor's family. How is it that you came to be in possession of this button? From the body of a murdered woman? Her face, was it marred in any way? I had feared as much. I can no longer feign ignorance. I shall reveal to you the truth of the deaths, but on one condition. You promise to put an end to my lady's madness and free her from her torment. I was once a manservant in the employ of one of the oldest and proudest families in Gridania, the Dartancours. During that time, I had the honor of waiting upon Lady Amandine, mistress of the household. Fair as summer was she, and possessed of a heart befitting her radiance. Alas, the calamity wrought a great change in her. Though my lady escaped with her life, death may well have been a kinder fate. I will never forget the day her bandages were removed. She beheld her disfigured face for the first time. At that moment, the kindly woman I knew ceased to be. Unable to bear the thought of being seen, my lady sequestered herself within her chambers and refused all company. This continued for many uneasy moons, until one day, without warning, she began receiving queer guests. None among us knew whence they came, these masked men, but my lady believed that they would help her to regain that which she had lost. So began the rites of rejuvenation. These rituals seemed innocent enough in the beginning, but grew ever more grotesque as time went by. Eventually, there came a day when my lady bound one of her handmaidens to her bed and proceeded to mutilate the poor girl's face. Suffice it to say, she did not survive the ordeal. It fell to me to dispose of her body. I performed the dreadful task as bade, obedient servant that I was. But when the time came to return to the house, my legs refused to move. I knew then that I could not go back to that place, not after the nightmare I had witnessed. So it was that I left Hawk Manor, my home for nigh on half a century. Long did I weep for the girl who was slain, and longer still for the woman that Lady Amandine had been. Yet one cannot weep forever, and I endeavored to put the matter behind me. Indeed, I had resolved never to speak of my experience, until you appeared before me. My lady's madness must be ended, lest more innocent lives be lost. Lay her tormented soul to rest, as you swore to me you would. She awaits you now at Hawk Manor, on the western edge of the Central Shroud. Go now. Go, and do what must be done.
Now, I was never sure whether it was pronounced Hawk or Hawke, but we'll seek entry by going to Bent Branch. Oh, and this is where we stopped. What time is it? 9:35? Oh, I got time for one more episode. So, we'll make our way to Hawk Manor in the intervening downtime, and we will be back to this as soon as we can. Besides, an ad's about to start, and I would like to bug good old Escanor for a little bit. So, we'll take a quick break, and we will return with more. Stay tuned.